The moment RMC's gaze locked onto the distant silhouette of the ancient bird, something in him ignited. The massive creature hovered high above the battlefield, its dark feathers shimmering faintly with streaks of gold under the midday sun. Its wings, vast and powerful, churned the air into turbulent currents. This was the same enemy from before, the one that had humiliated him in their last encounter. But this time, things were different. Back then, his feet were bound to the earth. This time, he could fly. Without another thought, he willed his skeletal wings to unfurl. Bone structures sprouted from his back, sinuous and sharp, with tattered membranes stretching between them like ghostly banners in the wind. A cold, deathly aura radiated from them as pale light shimmered along each ridge. With one heavy beat, he leapt from the ground and launched himself skyward, his loyal skeletal warriors taking to the air in unison, each one sprouting similar spectral wings crafted of pure necrotic energy. The flurry of white bones and black steel rising toward the heavens must have been a sight to behold, but it didn't go unnoticed. The ancient bird's eyes, like molten embers, spotted the intruders instantly. It let out a piercing cry, a sound that seemed to split the sky itself, and almost immediately, the first wave of its counterattack began. From the clouds above, fire bloomed. They came in an unending hail, great spheres of blazing destruction, each one trailing smoke and embers like miniature suns streaking across the heavens. They fell with terrible speed, smothering the air with heat. The explosions upon impact detonated with bone-shaking force, leaving dark bursts of flame in their wake. Several skeletal warriors were caught mid-flight. Bodies spun and fell, parts scattering into the void before vanishing into black motes. The sharp, acrid stench of scorched bone filled the air as the fiery rain only intensified. RMC shielded his face briefly, wings folding inward before snapping wide again to cut through the updraft. But he had come prepared for this exact punishment. Down on the battlefield below, stationed deliberately for this moment, stood the undead Lich General. In his hands, the gnarled staff pulsed with an eerie blue light. The instant the Lich saw the injured warriors losing momentum, he swung the staff down, his voice rattling in an ancient incantation. Legion treatment. A wave of ghostly energy radiated outward in a perfect circle, surging up toward the wounded. The magic seeped into cracked bones and dented armor, repairing fractures, restoring lost mobility, and even doubling their strength. Those warriors who had been faltering moments ago suddenly stiffened with renewed ferocity, their hollow eye sockets burning with brighter fire. With a renewed flap of skeletal wings, they accelerated back into formation, once again climbing toward their master's side. Yet the sky offered no mercy. The ancient bird's wrath was relentless. Its onslaught of fire continued without pause, each blast a perfect strike aimed to keep them at bay. But RMC pressed forward, weaving through the chaos with unnerving precision. His skeletal army followed suit, closing the gap one agonizing meter at a time. Finally, the moment came. Bone prison, he growled, his voice like a blade being drawn. From the ground beneath and the space behind him, jagged ivory chains erupted with a screech, twisting and spiraling toward the bird at breakneck speed. Like serpents, they wrapped around the creature's body, wings, and legs in rapid succession. In seconds, a full cage of bone had materialized around it, tight and unyielding. The ancient bird shrieked, eyes flashing in sudden alarm. It thrashed wildly, the power in its wings trembling the entire structure, but the chains continued to hold fast. Bone creaked under pressure, but did not yield. The prison constricted little by little, grinding into flesh, pinning wings closer against its body, locking its neck so tightly it struggled to breathe. Its cries grew frantic, the sound echoing across the battlefield like the wails of a storm. All around, the skeletal host moved into striking positions. Archers knocked their arrows, shafts tipped with pulsating necrotic light, while mages traced runes in the air that burned with frost, flame, and corruption. The first volley came like a rainstorm. Arrows sliced the wind, striking the trapped beast with sharp thuds. Each hit triggered violent explosions, shrouding the monster in clouds of ash and dust. But when that haze finally thinned, what stood revealed made RMC's jaw tighten. The ancient bird bore only light scratches, its body absorbing the punishment with disturbing resilience. Then the skies split apart. Forks of lightning as thick as tree trunks hurled themselves downward from storm clouds that had appeared without warning. They struck the bird again and again, turning the air into a blinding white storm and filling the world with a deafening roar of thunder. This time, the bird screamed, an agonized wail that still, somehow, carried defiance. Its body jerked violently with every blast until, in one explosive surge of force, it shattered the bone prison around it. Fragments of enchanted bones scattered into the wind like brittle snow. Now free, the ancient bird's eyes narrowed into burning slits, and it promptly inhaled a gust so deep the air seemed to tremble. Then it opened its beak wide, exhaling a torrent of black energy. The attack poured forward like liquid night, hungering to consume all in its path. The Lich General's timing was flawless. He slammed his staff into the earth, unleashing lightning halo. A translucent, crackling ring enveloped every skeletal soldier, the shimmering energy warding off most of the darkness as it washed over them. Still, the force of the blast pushed many backwards, wings shuddering against the impact. The ancient bird beat its wings once, lifting higher into the sky. Dark energy began to gather again in its beak. Only this time, it was far more concentrated, dense to the point that the air vibrated ominously. But RMC only smiled. The past is gone. In 1 minute, I've dealt you more pain than in our entire last battle. Time for you to be reborn and die again. The bird's next cry was one of pure fury. It surged upward, scattering the skeleton encirclement like leaves before a gale. The sheer wind pressure had warriors tumbling and spiraling. Others fought desperately to hold their positions. From below, Mu Xianjian's voice rang out in panic. Lin Moyu, above you. RMC's eyes snapped up. A meteor, massive, burning like the wrath of a god, was plummeting straight toward them, its shadow swallowing the battlefield below. His face tightened. The skill, the one that nearly killed me before, he muttered. With a sudden burst of speed, he veered sharply from his position, swooping down to snatch Mu Xiang into his arms. Together, they sped away from the falling titan, blazing through the atmosphere. Then it struck. The meteor annihilated anything in its descent path, carving the air apart. Skeleton warriors were vaporized instantly upon contact, vanishing in clouds of ash. When it slammed into the ground, the explosion birthed a shockwave of horrifying magnitude, flattening everything for hundreds of meters. The sheer force tore the skeletal wings and armor from RMC's body mid-flight, though the armor absorbed enough of the damage to leave him alive. When the dust began to settle, the land before him had changed entirely. Where the meteor fell, there was now a colossal crater, its edges scorched black, with arcs of lightning dancing inside. And at its heart rested an egg, large enough to dwarf even the biggest of siege engines. It pulsed with an inner storm, releasing bursts of azure current that hissed into the air. A translucent window flashed before RMC's eyes. Ancient Lewin Bird, Lord Level Boss. Level 67. Status: Nirvana rebirth in progress, invincible. So if it's Nirvana, RMC murmured, narrowing his eyes. But once it's over, I end you. 5 long minutes passed, each one filled with the whine of restless lightning. At last, the egg cracked, and with a deafening cry, the newborn form of the ancient bird burst into the sky, wings slashing through the air with renewed vigor. Another notification appeared. Level up, 68. Skills unchanged. Attributes increased. Power, agility, spirit, constitution. It's stronger. RMC acknowledged, a grim smile on his face. But it won't matter. With a thought, he cast Strong Soldier. A surge of power erupted through his troops, making them vibrate with eagerness for the kill. Every blade, every bowstring tightened with lethal intent. Mu Xiang, he said lowly, his tones searing with intent. Be ready with your collection skill. I'll give the order. Understood, she replied, her eyes sharp as steel. Bone Prison flared again, chains lashing out to hinder the enemy, as an avalanche of spells, curses, arrows, and strikes converged on the bird. Mu Xiang moved like a shadow among the chaos, activating her collection art with precise timing. Victory seemed within reach, until RMC's eyes caught movement above. A second meteor, blacker, larger, falling faster. He didn't hesitate. He seized Mu Xiang once again and darted away from the impending cataclysm, the shadow of destruction chasing them. And that was it for this chapter. Thanks for watching. Comment pineapple to let me know that you have watched till the end. Thanks.